Picture Los Angeles, February 1942. The city buzzed with war jitters. Just months earlier, Pearl Harbor had been attacked. America was now fully at war. Rumors of Japanese subs off the coast were constant. Air raid drills were common. Searchlights swept the skies at night. Citizens lived in a state of tension. Blackouts were enforced. Windows were covered. Car headlights dimmed. Everyone feared the next strike. Then came the night of February 24th. Something strange appeared in the skies. Radar picked up a possible target. The military went on high alert. Sirens wailed across Los Angeles. Anti-aircraft crews rushed to their posts. Searchlights snapped on. The city plunged into blackout. Families huddled in their homes. Others ran into the streets to watch. And then the guns opened fire. The night erupted with thunder. Anti-aircraft shells lit up the sky. Searchlights crisscrossed wildly. People stared in awe and terror. This the invasion everyone feared. Explosions echoed for hours. Shell casings rained down on neighborhoods. Windows shattered. Some civilians were injured by falling debris. Panic spread across the city. Newspapers described barrage after barrage. Gun crews swore they saw objects, dark shapes moving against the sky. Some said they looked like planes. Others saw a single, larger craft. So the searchlights locked on it. Witnesses later described it as glowing, almost metallic. Shell after shell exploded around it. But nothing fell from the sky. No enemy bombs dropped. No wreckage was found. Just endless fire into the darkness. By dawn, silence returned. Smoke drifted across Los Angeles. Anti-aircraft crews stood down, but the confusion was only beginning. Citizens demanded answers. What had they been shooting at? The military scrambled for explanations. At first, officials blamed enemy planes. They said Japanese aircraft had slipped past defenses. Then they backtracked. No planes had been found. No bombings reported, so they blamed war nerves. A false alarm caused by tension. Others said it was weather balloons, floating targets mistaken for enemy craft. But not everyone bought it. Too many people had seen something. Newspapers ran conflicting reports. The Los Angeles Times published a photo. Searchlights focused on a glowing object. Ouch! Shells exploding all around it. That image fueled decades of speculation. Was it a UFO? Craft beyond human technology? Or a simple mistake turned into chaos? The battle had casualties. Several civilians died. Some from car crashes during the blackout. Others from heart attacks amid the panic. No enemy was ever confirmed. But the damage to trust was real. Citizens wondered if officials were hiding the truth. Was it incompetence? Or a cover-up? Officials kept shifting their stories. First planes, then balloons, then nerves. Each explanation seemed weaker, and the UFO theory gained traction. After all, this was 1942. UFO culture had not yet exploded. Yet thousands in LA reported the same thing. A strange, glowing craft, hit with hundreds of shells, and completely unharmed. Could it really have been an alien ship? Or was fear simply playing tricks? Eyewitnesses stuck to their stories. They swore they saw something unusual. That night became legend. The Battle of Los Angeles, a firefight against an invisible foe, and the beginning of one of America's strangest wartime mysteries. The morning after the barrage, Los Angeles demanded answers. The Army quickly issued statements. First, they claimed it was enemy planes, but evidence never matched. Not a single enemy aircraft was recovered. Not a single bomb fell. It raised serious doubts. Then came the weather balloon explanation. Military officials suggested balloons triggered the panic. Searchlights locked onto drifting balloons. Gunners fired, thinking they were planes. Chaos spread as the city joined in. On paper, it made sense. But witnesses weren't convinced. They had seen a solid craft. Some described it as saucer-shaped. Others swore it glowed with light. Flimsy balloon didn't fit. Then came the war nerves defense. Commanders said jumpy troops overreacted. Radar signals were misread. Nervous crews fired at nothing. The explanation felt insulting to locals. People had seen something. They weren't all hallucinating. The Los Angeles Times photo made things worse. Showed beams converging on a disc-like shape, explosions surrounding it. Officials downplayed the photo. They claimed it was a photographic illusion. But the damage was done, so the photo became evidence for UFO believers. For decades, it appeared in books and documentaries, each time fueling the mystery. In the 1950s, UFO culture exploded. Roswell had already stoked curiosity. The Battle of Los Angeles was rebranded. No longer an air raid. Now, it was a UFO encounter. Authors linked it to alien visitors, claimed the military knew, but covered it up. After all, how else explain hundreds of shells hitting nothing? And an object immune to damage? UFO researchers argued the craft was advanced, possibly extraterrestrial. Some said it hovered silently. Others said it moved slowly across the city. It never fired back. It never fell. Was it observing humanity, testing America's defenses, or simply passing through? Theories multiplied. By the 1980s, the UFO angle was mainstream. TV shows presented it as fact. Documentaries replayed the Searchlight photo. Talk shows interviewed witnesses. The battle became part of alien folklore, but other historians had a different view. They looked at the Cold War context. In 1942, paranoia ran high. Radar was new and unreliable. Crews had little training. A flock of birds or drifting balloons could trigger alarms. The Army was terrified of another Pearl Harbor. Commanders were under pressure to act. So they fired first and asked questions later. That interpretation saw no aliens, only human error under stress. Yet one question lingered. Why did so many eyewitnesses describe a craft? Were they all mistaken, or had something real been up there? Some Cold War analysts suggested secret weapons. Maybe Japan tested new aerial devices. Balloons carrying explosives, known as fugo. These were later used in 1944. Could prototypes have flown earlier? Maybe, but no wreckage was found. Others proposed experimental U.S. tech. Strange aircraft tested over California skies. Perhaps the Army covered up friendly fire, shooting at its own prototypes. Still no documents support this, which brings us back to mystery. Each official explanation has holes. Balloons don't match the photo. War nerves don't match eyewitness reports. Japanese planes don't match the lack of evidence. UFOs remain the most popular theory, not because they're proven, but because every other option fails. And the government secrecy didn't help. Declassified files show heavy censorship. Pages blacked out. Information missing. Leading many to suspect a cover-up. And leaving the Battle of Los Angeles forever tangled in questions. Dawn broke over Los Angeles on February 25, 1942. Smoke still hung in the air. Shell casings littered the streets. Residents wandered outside, stunned. They saw shattered windows and damaged buildings. They asked, "What happened last night?" Rumors spread faster than news. Some said Japanese planes attacked. Others whispered about strange flying machines. A few muttered about invaders from the stars. Newspapers scrambled for answers. Headlines screamed of a massive air battle. The Los Angeles Times photo made waves. Beams converged on a glowing object. Readers debated what they saw. Letters poured into editors. Some claimed they saw nothing at all. Others swore they saw a craft. The Army insisted it was nerves and balloons, but that only deepened suspicion. Politicians weighed in. Congressman Leland Ford demanded an investigation. He wanted answers for his constituents. Why did Los Angeles fire on shadows? Or was the truth hidden? The Navy and Army clashed publicly. The Navy said it was false alarm. The Army insisted enemy planes were possible. Their disagreement confused the public. Trust in official statements eroded. Hollywood saw an opportunity. War dramas hinted at the incident. Films showed jittery gunners firing wildly. Others hinted at mystery objects. The battle became part of pop culture. Comics picked it up too. Artists sketched saucers over searchlights. Kids whispered ghost stories about aliens. By the 1950s, UFO culture grew. The Los Angeles incident was revived. Writers called it proof of extraterrestrials. They argued the photos showed a real ship. They claimed the government covered it up. Roswell had already set the stage. The battle became part of a larger UFO narrative. The phrase Battle of Los Angeles stuck. It sounded dramatic. It sounded like history. And it was, though, not in the way officials claimed. The 1970s brought new theories. Conspiracy culture took off. Declassified documents hinted at secrecy. Blacked-out pages fueled suspicion. Authors said the military knew more. TV specials featured the story. Witnesses were interviewed decades later. They repeated their memories. "I saw a craft, not a balloon." Skeptics pushed back. They said memory was unreliable. Fear distorted perception. People saw what they expected to see. In wartime, that meant enemy planes, or perhaps something stranger. By the 1980s, the legend was cemented. UFO researchers used it as a key case. The photo was reprinted endlessly. Each time, the story gained weight. Pop culture embraced it further. Novels referenced it. TV shows dramatized it. Science fiction borrowed from it. The idea of searchlights on a glowing craft became iconic. Even video games used it. Players fought alien ships over Los Angeles skies. The story refused to die. In 2011, Hollywood released a blockbuster, Battle Los Angeles. It turned the mystery into full alien invasion, explosions, marines, and extraterrestrial war. The movie had little to do with history, but the title alone drew audiences. Proof the legend still sold. Meanwhile, historians revisited the facts. They searched archives. They studied radar logs. They interviewed veterans. Most concluded it was nerves, balloons, and confusion, but none could explain the photo completely, or the eyewitness claims of a solid object. The case remained open-ended. In Los Angeles today, the story survives as folklore. Ghost tours mention it. Museums display the famous photo. Local history buffs recount the night. Some laugh about the panic. Others still wonder if aliens passed overhead. Either way, the Battle of Los Angeles endures. Half wartime blunder, half otherworldly mystery, and 100% unforgettable history.
That's it for today's Forgotten Tale. If this story made you raise an eyebrow, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that dusty little bell so you never miss another echo from the past. Drop it in the comments. We're always listening for new echoes. Got a weird bit of history you think we should cover? Until next time, keep your curiosity loud and your history weird.